huge turning point being a film like Once Upon a Time in Mumbai, and that changing a lot of things for me. I'm playing the character of a Bollywood film director. He's a popular film director. Like I've always said, I've always wanted to be a popular actor. I definitely work like magic. I love it. It's one of my favorite genres. It's a horror film, so I think the ideal time to release the promo would be 12 o'clock at the night. So I wanted to give the whole spooky feel in the theatre with the fog and with with the ghosts and the devils and all, and they had people dressed that way. So it was apt for the film and the franchise. The audience will be seeing it at 12 noon, so my phone was off. So from people yesterday and the reactions yesterday were pretty positive. I love it. It's one of my favorite genres. It's I think from my childhood days, I've loved horror films, science fiction films. They just create a world that is not real, but at the same time, it just kind of pulls you into that. And you're forced to ask a question, what if this actually exists? So it just dwells in that, that thin line of reality and fantasy and fiction and horror. So I like that space, and because that's my favorite genre, I've always made it a point to do a lot of horror films. I found the story very interesting. I've always had a fascination for horror films. The character for me was very different from what I've played. Very thin line of good or bad, and the basic moral choices that he has in the film. That was very different. And of course, there's a franchise of Raz, which I worked in the second part. So it's a franchise that's very dear to me. That's why I wanted to be in this one. I think both of them have their own individual sense of the way they act. Isha is more naturalistic, Bipasha is more intense in her performance. So I think they add the right blend to this franchise, and they've both done a fantastic job. It's fantastic because we have to wrap up the franchise with some really nice music, and the first two Raz albums, especially the first one, has got fantastic music. So this one too, we wanted to push the bar with that. I definitely work like magic. I would definitely work hard. I wouldn't step over other people's shoes, but you never know. When it kind of gets into a desperate state, and everyone has their own selfish needs. Sometimes probably it might kind of drive me to that point. Well, it's very nice of her that she said it, and she's, for me, it's like I've always said, I've always wanted to be a popular actor. And when there's a draw as far as the mass audience goes, that's where the numbers are. I would want to do more films that kind of pitch it on that level and get that kind of audience into halls. So it's a great compliment. I'm playing the character of a Bollywood film director. He's a popular film director. Like in Dirty Picture, he's a slightly more artistic film director. He's more popular and more commercial in this. And he's in a relationship with a superstar played by Bipasha. And how there's a certain set of circumstances in which he gets entangled into because of her devious and dark desires, and how he has to somewhere find a certain sense of morality in himself. They definitely do. They've really molded my career in my initial days with some very key films, landmark films made. Big Gangster, Jannat, Murder, and these films really carved a certain different archetype for a hero. Changing hero in our times, a very unconventional hero, which Bhatt Saab has done, yes. Fantastic. I mean, the first film, he literally held my hand and took me through the film. Footpath was a very difficult film for me to play that character, and working with him again now after 10 years, it's fun. He's a very clear director, a very patient director, and he's really, we put in all our trust because he's very intelligent that way in the way he makes his films also. It's been a very interesting journey, and a lot of filmmakers have seen the potential in the past 3 years. A huge turning point being a film like Once Upon a Time in Mumbai, and that changing a lot of things for me. And it's just, for an actor, it's very important to work with as many people and doing a lot of good work, and which I'm getting right now. I'm thankful for that.